Hi, everybody. I just want to share a couple of things about the new moon in Libra that we just had um, just recently, last night. What I want to show you is from the point of view of the constellations versus the zodiac signs, which are two different things. Some people might not understand what that means or might not be aware of it. Um, but just know that the constellations are different to the zodiac, which is divided. 360 degrees circle is divided into 12 equal parts, so each sign equals 30 degrees. The constellations themselves, however, see these pictures, these blue pictures in the background, they are the constellations, and all of them are different sizes. Virgo is the largest constellation, I think. I'm pretty sure it is. Leo comes very close, but I'm pretty sure Virgo is the largest or one of the largest. And here it is over here where I'm hovering the cursor. It's a little bit hard to see the detail, I know, because there's a lot of um, a lot of different lines and symbols and numbers and whatnot. But I think in Ruman's new program, yeah, he's got a new facility. This is Ruman Kolev's astrology software program. And in his new program or his updated version, which is coming out probably early next year, I think, he has some different features that enable you to zoom in and just see things a lot more clearly. So, really looking forward to that upgrade. Anyway, for the meantime, what I was thinking about last night, and I forgot to mention it in the last couple of videos. Um, and so anyway, it doesn't matter. I've forgotten. So here I am now. This is going to be a very quick, 10-minute video, but I just think it's worth mentioning because it's very, very valuable and it's very inspiring as well. Um, and I think, once again, given the nature of the world at the moment, we could always use a little extra hope, a little extra inspiration, little extra wisdom, little extra insight, just to help us keep moving on, right? Keep stepping forward and, and most importantly, maintaining our authenticity, not selling out, not selling our soul, not giving in to certain things that are, I'm going to say this again, what is happening in the world at the moment and what is trying to be implemented is not about your personal perspective. It's not about your personal religious beliefs. It's not about your cultural background. It's not about your gender. It's not about your personal preferences, period. And this is why everyone needs to hear this continuously until they actually realize the hardcore truth. And the hardcore truth is the DGID, if that gets set into motion, you have literally sold your freedom. It is as simple as that. The prize for these systems is your freedom. That's their greatest prize, and that's all they want. Now, a lady asked me a question on Facebook yesterday because I posted, I'll get to the good news in a minute. She asked a question because I posted a picture of referencing what I just spoke about. And she said, look, I hear what you're saying, and I'm seeing a lot of people talking about it, but there's a lot of fear that's been projected about it. How are people supposed to deal with this? What's the solution? And it is a very important question. It's a very direct question, and it's very simple to answer. And the answer is every single person essentially needs to not comply. It is as simple as that. Now, are there complexities involved around um, how that will take place? Yeah, of course there is. We just need to look back at 2020 and look at, what happened, how many people conformed then, but we have evolved. I think, people have woken up, right? So things are a little bit different now. But, you just need to know that, the fear mongering and the scare tactics and all of that's going to be, blown out again, blown out of proportion and magnified to the absolute hilt. Because that's the only way they can get people to bow down, to terrorize them and create absolute fear in them. Um, so it is, it is a very difficult passage and wave that we are all going to confront. And it's also very, very exciting on the other hand, because we are going to fucking make history. That's what we're going to do. As a united human race, we will make history. This will go down, in the history books for many, 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 many years to come, beyond the lifespan of our life in this lifetime. And it is really important that people realize the danger of, centralized digital, etc., etc., etc. Once you are in it, you are locked in, you have no way out, and you are a prisoner. You can be locked out of your own money, your own everything by a click of a switch. So do not underestimate the seriousness of this issue that is being rolled out very aggressively, collectively. In some places, it's being rolled out in, extremely aggressive ways. And so I think, every community, every state, every city, every country is going to have to come together. There's no other way to do this. Okay, so now that I've said my piece around that point again, which is, it is the most important thing in life at the moment. It really is the most important thing. Your career, your children, your family, maybe you're pregnant at the moment, maybe you just gave birth, whatever it is that's going on in your life is absolutely very important. But at the moment, everything else is secondary. This is primary. This issue that I'm talking about is primary, because if we don't nip it in the bud, it will change everyone's life forever, and not in a good way at all. So again, we need to realize the severity. Okay, so this Babylonian chart that you see in front of you over here, I have set it for the new moon in Libra. And as I said, that was last night. I don't know what you guys did. I was actually at the gym, which I love the gym. It's a great release for me. It's a great outlet. I do a bit of yoga and stuff like that as well. It's just, it's the perfect thing for my Mars to um, to be, expressed in a very healthy way. So after the gym, I came home and I did a beautiful ritual ceremony for the new moon. I set my intentions and goals very, very clearly, wrote them all down actually, and just gave some space and time for the exact sort of moment of the new moon. And felt, I must say, I felt really peaceful, really, really peaceful. It was a really beautiful reset. And here's what I forgot to mention in the last few videos, which is why I've come back on today. Two things in particular. One thing is this particular new moon uh, is it's very, very important, especially because of the aspects it has to it, which is an opposition to Chiron and a square to Pluto. Um, but also it is a fresh energy and a fresh restart. And you can still today, set your intentions if you didn't do it last night or daytime, whatever it was for you. If you didn't have time or you just didn't bother or you didn't think, you can still do it today. Because even though we've passed the exactness of the new moon, we're still in the new moon phase. The new moon phase lasts for, 2.5 days. So you've still got time if you haven't done this. Because this cycle, this new cycle, really marks the a new window that closes off the eclipses that we've been through, and that's what I forgot to mention. And that's a really important point. I think I was just really fired up with so many other things in my mind at the time, that I've just forgot bits and pieces here and there. But the beauty of this is that I can come back and uh, you know, share another video. It's not a big deal. Um, so this closes the window of the eclipses that we've had, which have been a fucking roller coaster. Um, and so that's one thing. The eclipses are closed, for 2025. That's it. We've all had our initiations, we've all had our challenges, we've all had our moments of growth or moments of realization or, um, you know, a, a clearer understanding of our own self, our own life, the choices we've made, the things we've left behind. That could be attitudes, patterns of behavior, relationships, belief, jobs. It can be absolutely anything. So that's one thing, which is huge. And the second thing is that this new moon is actually conjunct the absolutely dazzling, extraordinary, most spiritual star in the sky, who is called Spica, or some people call her Spica. She is a fixed star in the constellation of Virgo. She is, very simply put, she is one of the greatest protectors. She's the most spiritual star. She belongs to the esoteric wisdom and knowledge, very deep spiritual esoteric wisdom and knowledge, understanding, protection from all those realms and levels. So she is an absolute, I can't tell you in words how magnificent her presence is, how important it is, and how much of an omen it is that this new moon was very close to Spica. Now, I personally am very enthusiastic about this because she is the strongest star in my chart. And I can tell you through personal experience, not just through what, old texts and different materials and the like might say about Spica. Of course, theory and, different traditions that speak to different aspects of the stars, of the planets, astronomy and the like, heliacal phases, etc. All of that is um, it's gold to have knowledge and insight and understanding about the stars, about the sky, about the cosmos is a real gift to begin with, because most people actually do not. So it is a gift in itself to have the some understanding, at least some understanding of the cosmic divine language of the stars. And, Spica really offers that to people. If she's really prominent in your chart, she's going to ultimately protect you. No matter what comes along, she will protect you. That doesn't mean that you don't go through difficult experiences, but ultimately you will be protected, especially if there's, integrity, authenticity, honesty. You're in tune with her. She's going to have your back. And I can assure you there's no one greater than her to have your back. So she's conjunct this new moon. And so that is an energy that's, obviously emanating through the ether, right, for everybody on the earth. So everybody can benefit from her presence conjunct this new moon. And so even though, we have many hurdles to jump as we proceed forward in these extraordinary, freaking absolutely extraordinary times of history that we will be the co-creators of. That's why we've got to switch on, even though we are still going to face numerous different challenges with all the BS that will be projected and spewed out and tried to be implemented only through the nature of fear. Let me ask you this. If you doubt all this stuff and you think it's conspiracy theory, you're no offense, but you're somewhere like at the end of the train in fucking no man's land. You're just like, you've got to catch up if you haven't already. But let me ask you this question. It's a very simple question. And it's logical as well, although it's philosophical too. If something was good for us, right? Something that was truly authentic, truly empowered us, truly connected us with the source, truly connected us with natural law, truly enabled us and allowed us to express our divine sovereign birthright. If it was something that, brought joy and happiness and kept us connected with what's really important, do you think that it would need to be forced, coerced, implemented in these through coercion, through force, and through aggression? Would it be offered to you in that way if it represented any of those things? Of course, the answer is no. So if you question or don't question, just think about the question that I just asked you. It's actually fucking logical. So that being said, I think this new moon with Spica there, is a really blessed doorway for us to step into and receive the protection, the wisdom, the goodness of Spica, one of the most powerful stars. The reason you probably don't hear a lot about her is because a lot of the stars that are focused on tend to be more relatable to this earthly realm, such as fame, fortune, etc., because a lot of people are more motivated and driven and energized by those topics versus knowing their own soul, versus knowing God, versus becoming more wise, studying and learning the esoteric layers and symbols and wisdoms and teachings and the like. And see, Spica holds all of that. The richness of what she can teach you and help you along the way is invaluable. There's no amount of money that could buy it. And honestly, I am a living example of that, I read my first astrological book when I was 12 years old. Anyway, for those that are not inclined to be inspired and, looking to uh, understand more from these spiritual or esoteric levels, that's obviously something that, the soul is tuned into or calling towards. And for some people, that's not necessarily their gig this lifetime, so to speak. But even though that may not be your gig, just know that Spica's presence there is an omen of protection. So I guess, when it comes to these sorts of things as well, we have to have trust and faith, but we also have to be wise in our steps and choices. Nothing falls out of the fucking sky and uh, just makes everything happen for you. It is through this physical body. That's why we have this physical body and our mind and our consciousness that enables us to have a greater sense of insight or understanding and to take the appropriate steps by using our consciousness and being, more aware of what we are doing and why. And in times like this, it's not just about our own personal journey because we are creating history right now, people. That's all there is to it. So, you know, we have to step outside of our personal prejudices and preferences. We just simply fucking have to. And just know that for at least for this new cycle with this new moon, Spica is offering, a really massive blessing. She is protecting all of us in some kind of way. Now, look, that's going to look different for everybody. And don't bother looking at, that person over there or that person in that country and questioning, well, why are they going through what they're going through? We don't know. But what we do know is that Spica is conjunct this new moon, and that is important. And that is something to be really inspired by and encouraged by. So I will leave you with that thought. If you haven't set your intentions, do it. I'm telling you now, do it for yourself and do it for humanity as well, because this is a really beautiful energy that, we're not going to see this again tomorrow, obviously, or next month or the month later. This is an infrequent occurrence, and it's happening on the back of the end of eclipses. So it's a real, true reset. Okay, sending you all much love and Spica blessings. May she bless your path.